2,000 years after Jesus' resurrection was first reported, the city of Jerusalem is still buzzing with the story. In the residential Jerusalem neighborhood of Talpiot, ancient carvings of Jonah and the whale, the symbol believed to be the earliest iconic identification of the resurrection, were recently revealed on an ossuary, or burial box, found under an apartment block.
For a believing Christian, it's very, very, very good news. Why? Because here we have a Christian symbol, an icon, and the first recognized Christian symbol from the catacombs, biblical symbol, is the sign of Jonah. It's the only statement that Jesus actually gives in the Gospels, in his own words. When he's asked for a sign, he says, this is an evil generation, I won't give you any sign except one sign, the sign of Jonah. So we have an attested Christian symbol that's found in Jerusalem, dating back to the time of the people who knew Jesus, 250 years earlier than anything in the catacombs. And next to it, we have the earliest and only statement of resurrection faith ever found.
Using carefully constructed replicas, three-time Emmy Award-winning documentary filmmaker Simcha Yakobovich, director of multiple films including the controversial Lost Tomb of Jesus, described the discovery of the ossuaries, the basis of his latest production, The Resurrection Tomb. In close proximity, within the same tomb, a second ossuary engraved with an ancient Greek inscription was found.
God, Jehovah, lifts up. The tense of this is not clear. It's essentially the verb, I lift up. The Lord God has lifted me up from death. He actually says that in the book of Jonah. So the person is who's making these ossuaries, let's say the family that's making these ossuaries, seems to be deriving from the book of Jonah their vocabulary, their language, and their thought world.
Rather than view the new find as an endorsement of the biblical account of the bodily resurrection of Jesus, Yakobovich and Tabor appear to be convinced that its close proximity to the controversial Jesus tombs substantiates an earlier thesis, which stated
that the remains of Jesus and his family were buried in individual ossuaries and laid to rest in a tomb situated directly underneath the concrete structure in front of me here in the sleepy Jerusalem neighborhood of Talpiot.
A burial box for the bones of Jesus, the one whom scriptures say was resurrected, body, soul, and spirit, would have been unnecessary, and according to Dr. Charles Price, it would contradict New Testament scriptures.
If we said that Jesus was buried somewhere in a dusty tomb somewhere outside Jerusalem, we do not have any possibility of a living relationship with him. Paul confirmed the physical resurrection of Jesus. That's what he spoke of in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And he spoke of it as a historical event, that he was died, he was buried, he was raised to life. He was not saying he physically died, was physically buried, but spiritually was raised to life. No, he speaks of all three in the same context.
Although the authenticity of the markings as early Christian and their direct association with Jesus are still very much up for debate, the degree of attention given to this new discovery is a clear indicator that after 2,000 years, Jesus is more popular than ever. And that, if anything, can be proof of the resurrection. Marnie Blom, Axe News Network, Jerusalem.
Axe News Network. From Jerusalem to the nations.
This morning, Hamas fired a rocket that hit the school.
What's really important?
It's now 80% of the Council's resolutions are against Israel.
Visit Axe News Network. Accessible, informative, inspiring.
Future peace negotiations. Jerusalem is so central to the Jewish people.
Celebrating life. Preparing for war. Axe News Network. Online with the times.